Men and women all over the globe are joining now for the best videos on the internet.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
And I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you? Click the subscribe button now to become a member of the Action Pack. Would you like to know more?
Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Mike and this is Mike's After Action Reviews and this is the Rapid Action Review for Starfield. Mike's After Action Reviews is proud to partner with Purpleworks Nutrition. If you want to get jacked like my man Samson over here, go check them out at purpleworksnutrition.com. Use the promo code MIKE at checkout and you get 15% off. So, jumping right into it, guys, I first want to start off by saying that we are trying out a new format for the Rapid Action Reviews. We're always trying to evolve and improve here at Mike's After Action Reviews. So let us know what you think down in the comments below. Basically, what's going on is I have some notes over here that I'm going to be reading off of and also ad-libbing from. And I'm going to go over the production, and then instead of talking about the story, special features, characters, or anything like that, core gameplay mechanics, I'm going to jump right into my final statement and review score, talking about sustains, improves, and then my actual score for the game. So, yeah, so we're not going to hit everything, but we're going to get the major points that I found as far as good and bad things about the game. So, starting off, Starfield was released on September 6, 2023 to Xbox Series X and Series S, Xbox Cloud Gaming, and Microsoft Windows. It was developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. So, starting with the sustains. I'm not going to get too much into any of these points because this is a rapid action review, but I do just want to say that one of the great things about this game, along with all Bethesda games that we've had so far, is the freedom. You have, in most Bethesda games, you have just a grand open world. You have a story that you can follow, but basically, once you get through the tutorial or the first few levels, tutorial levels, you can just walk off into the world and create your own story using highly detailed and, for the most part, well-written quests and dialogue with different characters throughout the world. That's the first sustain. Second sustain is the core gameplay loop, and this is another thing that we've seen through most Bethesda games or just open world RPGs in general. You have, you go on quests, you kill enemies, you get loot, you upgrade your gear, and you go through the character progression system. A big thing here emphasized with Bethesda is that you're able to, well, not so much here, but just Bethesda in general, is that you're able to create your own character, and then how you progress them, how you assign characteristics to them in the beginning of the game and then develop those characteristics over time through leveling up shapes the way that you play the game. And that's something that Bethesda has, and they do it here at least a little bit. And we'll get into that into my final statement and review score. But then the third sustain is shipbuilding. This is basically a mini game, not a mini game, I shouldn't say that. It's like a game within a game. It's actually really fun because you have a great amount of customization. The interiors for your ships are really cool. And it's just nice to be able to have something to come back to and improve that is separate from some of the tedious things that we have to do. Even if we enjoy those tedious things, some of the tedious things we have to do to level up skills and things like we do in RPGs like this. So moving on to my improves. So the first improves is the restrictions on your freedom. So while freedom is one of the sustains of the game, here they really restrict that because of the loading screen issue that I'm sure that everybody at this point has heard about. Basically, when I say freedom, I'm talking with character creation and everything, but also exploration. This game is not an open world game. even the main, even the main city that you start off in, New Atlantis, you cannot walk from one side of New Atlantis to the other. And I understand that, like in Skyrim, you had walled cities, and you would have to go through a loading screen and open the door, and then you're in the city. But the city was you could walk around it. And the wall, it was the divider for the city, and once you went outside the wall, you could walk around anywhere else to the world until you met another like dungeon or area that was basically indoors. But the overworld was completely open world, and you could walk from one side of the actual country of Skyrim to the other side of the country of Skyrim. Here you cannot do that at all. You can't even walk from one side of the main city, New Atlantis, to the other. You go to a train, and it basically cuts the city in half with a loading screen. And then there's also no actual space travel. You guys have probably seen videos, and if you haven't, you can look them up, where people will fast travel to an area, like to a planet, and that sits you basically outside of the planet. You're going to see a graphic up here. So that sits you outside the planet, but you can't actually fly to the planet. And if you do actually spend the ridiculous amount of time it would take to fly to the planet that you just fast traveled to, you will actually fly through it, because it is a 2D image. Everything is locked behind a loading screen. And it really sucks. And the fact that we have games like Starpoint Gemini 3 and the Starpoint Gemini series and Elite Dangerous, all these other games that have actually been around for a while, including, especially like No Man's Sky is a big one, where you can just get in your ship, you're in your ship, aim your ship upward and fly off of a planet and out into the greater universe, or fly down onto a planet. Okay, the fact that we've had that, in the past, and now we don't get it here, and this game is basically supposed to be about space exploration, that really sucks. So, yeah. Okay, so then moving on to the second improve is some complicated and nonsensical design choices. The biggest one that you're going to notice immediately is going to be the fact that there is no map. So there is actually no map of the area. I can't even describe to you exactly, like if I were to try to type this or do a written review of this and explain to you how the map works, I can't. So just look at this graphic up here. You can see there's no detailed areas. It's not like Skyrim or any of the other Elder Scrolls games or Fallout games where you can actually like see anything on the map. It has some points and stuff, but no paths, no buildings, no nothing. It actually, I don't even know why they did. That's why I said it's nonsensical. I don't even know why they did this, and it doesn't. Yeah, it's just very frustrating. There's also an outpost system that is implemented in the game, much like in Fallout 4, except everything here is worse than it was in Fallout 4. And here, there's like an emphasis on, so you travel to different planets, and you can have not trade, but, like shipments of resources you mine on one planet moving to another planet and all of this. But they have a problem. There's a bunch of problems with managing that. It's very tedious, takes a long time, and it's just very irritating to deal with. So I kind of gave up on that. And then there's also one thing that I've heard other people talk about. Now I'm going to say it, and you're going to go, wow, actually that is true. And it is something that I really got irritated with once I realized that this was the case, is that there's no directory of planets. There's nowhere where you can go and find a planet. In some games, they have a system where you will talk to a city guard, and then where you're going will be marked on your map. Okay, in a space situation, you could probably, they could have done something where you can go talk to like a navigator, and he tells you, oh, if you're looking for this city, this is where it is. If you're looking for this NPC, this is where it is. And then when you go to your map, the galaxy that you go through is listed, that you want to go to is listed or marked on your map. But if you look over here, this is the galaxy map, and you can see that, there's over 1,000 planets here, and if you want to find a specific person or a specific city, the only way to do that is going and finding it, or, and this is what I think the game developers basically planned on people doing, go and look it up online. And a lot of the game seems to be designed around the idea of like MAARs will fix this, or people can use the wiki, because a lot of things aren't explained properly. A lot of the tutorial is very bare bones, and you just don't understand how a lot of different things work. Okay, so then I kind of touched on this a little bit more with the freedom, but the third improve is just the lack of exploration, and that's not just talking about space exploration, because you don't, like I said, you can't fly anywhere, but the areas like if you choose an area, and I'm going to show this because a lot of this is hard to articulate in words, but so watch this graphic here, and you're going to see that when you select an area, you land, and basically I didn't realize this immediately, but basically when you land in an area, it generates a sandbox, not an actual sandbox, but just like a big square, and it uses AI to randomly generate the whole area. And what this basically amounts to is maybe 2 or 3 points of interest, and the points of interest are like a big asteroid that landed there and you can go look at it and scan it. Maybe there'll be like an empty, abandoned facility on a planet or something, or a moon or whatever, and it's got some enemies that you can go kill. But these areas, first of all, are huge, okay? And it takes a long time to walk between them. If there's 1, 2, and 3 areas, points of interest, walking between them will take you like 5 minutes to each place. So it's very irritating. You can't use your ship or any vehicles at all to move around while you're landed on a planet at all. And everything just feels empty. It just feels really, really empty, and it was very, very disappointing. So so those are my sustains and improves. Moving on to my final review score. I give this game a rating of 1 thumb down below average. Look, I think that conceptually that the game could have been great. Then, so it could have been great. Okay, then the game that they gave us, like just the base game, kind of ignoring some of the problems, it's average. But then the issues that they put into it, like no map. Like if you guys would have just implemented a map, that would have really increased my score here. Like the fact that we don't have a map, that's so stupid. Or a proper map anyway. That just drags the review score down to below average for me. So that's all I've got, guys. I do just want to tell you, actually, before we go, look, the reason I'm doing a rapid action review for this game, I played 60 hours, and I was just bored and didn't want to play the rest. Like, I never beat the game, but I played 60 hours into it, and then I said, okay, now I got to beat the game so I can do the review, but it was just monotonous. All these different things got in the way of me enjoying that core gameplay loop, the exploration, all that stuff, all these different loading screen issues, no space travel. Yeah, like I said, it was an average game, and it kept getting in its own way with its issues that dragged it down to a below average for me. So, like I said, that's all I've got today, guys. I do want to thank you all for watching one last time and just say God bless you all, and have a good day. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch and join the Discord, where you can voice chat with me while I live stream, and you won't be recorded or anything on YouTube and Twitch, so that's pretty cool. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you like to read, you can see my after-action reports on my blog. And if you are interested, you can get some merch from my spring store. The links for everything are in the description below.